afternoon. Welcome back into the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester. We've got the under-18 women's game coming up in about a minute's time as it's Junior Final Fours weekend. Kaz Bullock here with Adam Masters. We've had two fantastic games already today, Adam. 2 more to come. How excited are you for this one?
I mean, God, it's the roller coaster of emotions that we go through doing these broadcast cars. You know what I mean? 1 minute we're shouting and screaming, then we have to quieten down again to introduce the next game. But how's your throat hanging out?
It's managing. It's managing just about that. I mean, if someone wants to bring me an ice cream, I'm not going to object.
Yeah, shout out to anyone who's near the ice cream vendors. Kaz Bullock needs ice cream.
I'm not fussy on flavour. Yeah. Anything will do.
Bring ice cream to the commentary table.
But we have got an absolutely fantastic game coming up for you very, very shortly. City of London Academy, Southwark Pride taking on the Manchester Mystics in a rematch of the under-18 Women's National Cup final that we saw back in January. 2 teams going undefeated in their divisions. CoLA Southwark Pride and the Manchester Mystics, a rematch of the under-18 Women's National Cup final that we saw back in January. It's going to be an absolute battle between these 2 teams. CoLA 10-0 in the Southern Premier Division and the Mystics 12-0 in the Northern Premier. The teams playing in yesterday's semi-final. CoLA taking the win against the Nottingham Wildcats 62-36. And the Mystics overcoming Ipswich 70-62. And the first possession it is. Isla Habal going against Alex Hernandez. As ball's knocked out of bounds and it will go with the Mystics. Now, Adam, these are 2 teams that play very different styles of basketball. We know that CoLA, the organisation just preaches defense, defense, defense. They're such a tough team to come up against. And they have a whole philosophy based around their defensive identity. Assistant coach Brian Nguru really stresses that to the team. And the Mystics, a team that like to get out and play fast, play in transition. So 2 very different styles of play.
Well, you just said it was defense versus offense, you know what I mean? CoLA are renowned for their defense. And what happens is defense creates that fast offense. Obviously, the Mystics like to run and gun. We've seen these players for a few years now. But look at the defense there. But, you know, I'm really looking forward to seeing that lady there, Habal. She was awesome last time we saw her.
Oh, my goodness. Isla Habal, one of the players to watch. There's so many of them you want to watch. But Isla Habal, WEABL MVP just last month. Division 1 playoff final winner last weekend with the D1 team. As she controls things for CoLA. Alex Hernandez steals it away. Can't get the shot to finish, but Irene Aboado is there to clean things back up. And Irene Aboado, having already played in the under-16s 3rd, 4th place playoff game earlier today, as Habal gets her first points of the game. Costa to Hernandez. Robinson, what a pass to Aboado. Blocked inside by Kerside. And a great pass over there to Felicia Jacobs. Calm as anything. Every time you see Felicia Jacobs play, she's so calm, so considered under the basket. As Robinson answers at the other end for the Mystics.
But I mean, it's like we've been saying for the first 2 games, Kaz. It feels like we've known these players for so long now. And, there we go.
Habal with the mid-range jumper.
By the way, she looked back at the coach to say, what?
Isla Habal as well, one of the smaller players out on the court, but you just watch, she can get up in the air.
Yeah.
Shot doesn't fall for the Mystics, and it's Esther Kursite with the rebound. Oyewele into Jacobs. Off the glass, doesn't go. But that link-up, Adam, between Shea Oyewele and Felicia Jacobs, they were both players that we saw a couple of years ago playing for the Haringey Angels at the Under-16s National Cup. You know, they've moved over to CoLA, and just, we talked about it. You've had these link-ups between a big and a guard throughout the day, and it's when players are so in sync, it's just so intuitive. They know where each other's going to be on court. That's
the 1-2 punch, and like you said, we've been watching him for a number of years. It's just, it baffles it when they get to 18s. It's like they're veterans. We've known them so long as players, you know what I mean?
It's crazy, and this is going to be Felicia Jacobs' last game here in the.
And then it's always
sad
because you sort of get used to seeing these people
at
Final Fours, and then you blink and they're gone, you know what I mean?
As Felicia Jacobs, having committed to Temple University in Philadelphia, which is huge for her. As she hits the second free throw. She was the Division I MVP last weekend as Isabel Robinson kicks it out. It's stolen away by Habal. Oyewele keeps hold of it. As Habal swings it round. Oyewele with the long two. Not that time, but Jacobs races in for the rebound. Can't get it to drop. And there you go. There's Isla Habal bouncing out of the gym.
It's like if you were going to, do a video clip of what does Isla Habal do?
This is what she does.
Yeah.
It's a sideline ball for the Mystics. It'll be Aboado to inbound. Robinson back to Aboado. Stepping through, can't get that to fall. And chased down by Elabor. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Costa. And knocked out of bounds. It will go the way of CoLA. A 6-point lead for the Pride here early on. Oyewele racing through traffic. Kicks it out. 3 doesn't drop for Cabia, but Diorama is there to put it back in. And stolen away. Cabia racing down the court. Doesn't get it to drop, but Diorama again saves it in for the Pride. Habal fires the 3, in and out, and it's Jacobs with the rebound, gets that to drop.
I think that's a good timeout that Rafaeli's called there, Kaz. I think it's a case of let's try damage limitation now, you know what I mean? Let's try to get our heads back together and get back in this one. Only 5 minutes gone, 14-4, doesn't mean much right now. But obviously he's going to want to break the momentum a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. That's a quick 10-point run for CoLA, and we've said it throughout the day, haven't we? Basketball's a game of runs.
Have we mentioned it's a game of runs? I don't know if we have.
And CoLA, a team that I said before, known for their defense, but they have shooters out there. They have Gloria Cabia out there, who is a menace from 3. She's hit 2 buzzer-beating game winners in Division I this season from the 3-point range. She averages just over 30% from 3, and again, she's a player heading out to Ohio in September, committed to Western Reserve Academy. A lot of these players, sometimes at the under-18 level, it becomes the last time out on court and it's, you know, they want to put on a show, they want to go out on top, don't they?
Absolutely. I mean, this is the last dance of junior basketball, you know what I mean? And there's some big careers coming up, but you know, a lot of these guys, they want to leave it on a big note, so remember me, you know what I mean?
And hey, Athena Thompson did that in game 1, 40 points. You're going to remember the name as Robinson drives to the basket, gets the whistle, and that's going to put Isabel Robinson at the line. And I have to say, it's great to see Isabel Robinson back out on court. She had an injury late last season, which put her out for a significant amount of time. She played a game with the Division I Mystics earlier this season, and she's just such a great addition back into this under-18 squad.
Well, I mean, Isabel Robinson is one of the toughest players you'll ever see, you know what I mean? She, I was talking to someone yesterday, I'll never forget a time when she, right in front of us, she went down hard and you felt the vibration come through the floor. But yeah.
As OULA hands it off to Jacobs. That's that link up. OULA to Jacobs.
But interesting, I was talking to Isabel and her dad yesterday. This is the first game she's played on this floor since the injury, which happened on this floor. So, yeah, so she said that was quite weird yesterday.
Yeah.
So
didn't seem to phase her too much. 17 points, 7 rebounds, a couple of steals and a block for her. But it is good to see her back out. As Habal hands it off to Diorama. Diorama fighting her way underneath the basket, almost triple teamed there, and she still manages to score under pressure. And a great rebound there from Blake Smith, but doesn't get it to drop, but positioning herself well to get the ball, get those rebounds. As Aaliyah Clark checking in, and Felicia Jacobs heading to the bench, and Jacobs with 8 points, 3 rebounds in the game so far, as CoLA up to a 13-point lead. And again, as we've said all day long, it is loud in here with the support. CoLA ball, it's Habal against Odin Wingy. Habal, pass into Clark, just knocked out. And it'll be Karina Costa bringing the ball up for the Manchester Mystics. Just under 5 minutes to go here in the first. Robinson against Clark. Shots no good, Diorama with the rebound. Cabia kicks it out. That's too strong and tips into the hands of Odin Wingy. And the Mystics racing down the other end as Irene Oboado spins. Can't get it to drop, but gets her own rebound. Costa over to Oboado. 5 seconds on the shot clock. And a foul is called on the floor.
Oh, Irene certainly played a lot of basketball this weekend. This will be her 4th game of the weekend.
Yep, Irene Oboado playing under 16s for the Mystics as well. She's a super, super exciting young player as Costa lines up the 3, spins out. OULA.
Oh, nice pass. What a great pass.
And Shea OULA does such a good job of setting her teammates up, finding the player, finding those cutting players to the basket. Costa's shot won't go. And Diorama grabs her 4th rebound of the game. Clark's open up ahead. And count that. And the foul. Aaliyah Clark under pressure. Gets the basket, and that's going to put Clark at the free throw line. And we will have a timeout. Coach Ron Fairley wants to talk things over with the Mystics as CoLA run out to a 13-point lead here in the first quarter. And leading the way, leading all scorers, it is Felicia Jacobs, 8 points and 3 rebounds for her. And Adam, the season that Felicia Jacobs has had this season, it's crazy. We don't actually have time for me to tell you every single thing she's done because we've got a game to get to, but MVP of last week's Division 1 playoff final, Division 1 Young Player of the Year, Team of the Year, British Team of the Year. She was 3rd in rebounds per game. She was in the WABL All-Conference First Team in the South. Basketball England's Under-18 National Player of the Year last year. MVP in the National Cup back in January. We saw her in the Under-16s National Cup as an MVP a couple of years ago. Just an incredibly talented player. Led the Division 1 team in points per game and rebounds with just over 11 each. Just, it's so exciting to have seen her develop on this stage, and for her next step, off to Philadelphia. That's huge in Division 1.
You know, I mean, Temple, NCAA D1, it doesn't get bigger than that, and how deserved is she of that, you know what I mean? She's had an incredible career so far, and this season, as like you say, you've not got long enough to reel everything off, but wow, that's a, you know, I'm looking at the sheet that you've put together here, and her section's a lot thicker than everyone else's, but you know, yeah, incredibly talented player.
As Clark completes the 3-point play. As Costa looks to kick it out. Robinson's there for the long 2. Doesn't get it to drop. Deborah Wilson-Aswide into the game for CoLA. Gets the ball on the 3-point line. Looks to go inside. Oh, nice handoff to Clark, who kicks it out. As Oyewole lines it up, knocks it down. Costa over to Aboado. Robinson, long 2, won't drop. But they're good looks that the Mystics are getting, aren't they? Adam, sometimes it just doesn't fall.
It just isn't dropping, but they've just got to persevere and stick with it.
Cabia all the way to the hoop. Not that time. As Karina Costa chases it down for the Mystics. Costa stops, pulls up, too strong. Ball's knocked loose, it will be last touch of Mystics. So back with CoLA. Wilson-Aswide. Three's too strong as Clark gets it inside, gets that to fall, and Aaliyah Clark, she works so hard inside. Between Jacobs, Clark and Adora Diorama, the big 3 inside for CoLA. They have such a strong presence and make it really difficult to get a shot against them, but when they're on offense, they have just got that ball movement so perfect.
Yeah, I mean, they're so locked into each other, aren't they? They just, you know, the way they move the ball around to get in these positions to make the shot. But they've played together for a long time. But Mystics looking a little bit lost right now, I've got to say. They're just struggling to find an answer.
As Isla Habal checks in for Glory Cabia, for CoLA, and for the Mystics. They just need to, I think, see a couple of shots go through the basket, have that confidence when it goes through. You know, they have incredibly strong, talented players out there. As we see Alex Escriva into the game. And Clark draws the whistle. And that's going to put Aaliyah Clark back at the free throw line. But if you're Manchester as well, as we said before, they're a team that like to play fast, get out to transition to Manchester. And it can be really difficult when CoLA slow you down because they don't allow you to get into those spaces, but then you want to do what you do well, which is swing the ball around, find some open looks.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it, when you've got a team as defensively strong as CoLA and your game is all about fast break, you know what I mean? It's sometimes you've really got to find other ways around it.
As Clark hits the second free throw. Costa to Aboado. Hands it off to Robinson inside. That doesn't drop. Oyewole round to Habal. Habal pulls up for three, too short. Nice handoff there from Costa. Good ball movement from the Mystics. Just not able to finish inside. Wilson off Swede over to Habal. Oyewole with the shot clock running down, steps back for three, nails it. Shea Oyewole with 6 points in the game so far.
CoLA have got to be feeling pretty comfortable right now, Kaz. It's a huge lead coming into the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, a 32-5 lead. With just 3 seconds to go as a Screever. Her shot doesn't drop. And a huge lead for CoLA. As you say, heading into the second quarter. So we are joined by Dave Owen, master of the stats, who's going to be with us through the game to give us some insight onto what he's seeing. So Dave, out there at the moment, who stood out for you the most on this CoLA team? Obviously a really strong lead so far.
Yeah, the thing that jumped out at me in the stats was you've got 4 players out there for CoLA with some size. You've got Clark, Diorama, Jacobs and Kersite. They're 9 for 10 from the field, all 2-pointers. So they're really utilising their size well, getting them, really high quality shots inside. None of them are taking a 3-point shot. They don't need to, so they're playing to their strengths, and it's really effective. They're 90% between the 4 of them. So I think CoLA knows what works for them, and they're sticking with it.
That's incredibly impressive, 90% from there. And as you say, CoLA aren't necessarily a team that will shoot as many threes as we might see some teams play in the league, but when you've got 4 players like that, it works effectively for them.
Yeah, and it's super refreshing, right, to actually see some basketball that isn't just a 3-point shootout, which we so often see in modern basketball now. So it's great to see a team just executing. Shea Oyewole's got 5 assists, I think, already. So she's the pinnacle of it, that's feeding the bigs and getting them those high quality shots. I'm sure Habal will rack up some assists as well. We've seen the quality of her play at point guard. She's got to be able to score the ball, set the table for others. So I'm excited to see what she does as well.
Definitely. And for the Mystics, a bit of a slow start for them. Just Isabel Robinson on 3 points. What are you seeing from them?
Yeah, you can see the hustle there, the heart's there. CoLA just have that calmness of a team that won here a weekend ago in the Division 1 Women Finals. They've come into this game with so much confidence, and Manchester have just got to match that, stick with it. The game's not over, it's early. You can see the hustle's there. They've got talented players on the floor. They've just got to mentally get over that tough start.
Absolutely. So let's see what the second quarter brings. Thanks, Dave. We'll come back over to Adam. So back on court for the second quarter, it is a Mystics ball as Aboado kicks it out. Shot up, 3, doesn't drop. And it's Habal racing down the court, going all the way, puts it in. Isla Habal, is she in the 100 metres?
See the control of that layup, Kaz, when you've been chased down by a player and you've got to make that decision to what you're going to do. Just the control to get that little left-handed layup in there. Incredible.
The calmness as well, not to be phased by the player behind you.
Exactly.
As Habal swings it over to Wilson Aswide. Her three's good. And CoLA absolutely on fire to get this game started as Ellie Costa drives to the hoop but can't get it to drop. And Habal kicks it out. Cabia's 3 off the front of the rim. As Aboado drives to the basket, and her ball pass is knocked out. Daisy Bryant's just going to settle things down for the Mystics. A Screever passing inside Jacobs got a piece of that one as a Bodo and Clark are fighting for it. As we'll have a substitution for CoLA. Kursite, Diorama, and Maddie Warren into game for the first time. As the Pride have a 32-point lead here early on in the second. Diorama off the bench into the basket. Ball saves in, but it's into the hands of Habal. As she goes.
What a move.
Can't get it to fall, but.
What I really love is that little sort of shimmy step that she does. She sort of fakes with her entire body and then brings the ball one way or the other and then goes to the basket.
It's a really nice move.
It is.
Now it's got a whistle at the other end.
The statistic that's concerning for the Mystics right now is fast break points. Yet to score, the Mystics was 13 points. If the 39 have come from fast break points for CoLA so far.
And that's kind of flipped it on its head.
Yeah, as well as 17 points from the bench.
Ellie Costa, free throw doesn't drop, and chased down, but it will stay with the Mystics. Oh, well, apologies, we'll retake the free throw. There was a lane violation. As Ellie Costa doesn't get the second one to go. Diorama hands it off to Habal. You see the speed Isla Habal plays with. Cabia. And ball's loose. Odin Wingy and Diorama fighting for the jump ball. And it will go the way of the Mystics. Odin Wingy over to Robinson. And ball's out of bounds. Cabia. Warren in the corner. Three's up. No good. And Odin Wingy racing down the court for the Mystics. As Costa kicks it out to Hernandez. And Hernandez looking for a way inside. Finds it, but just can't finish at the rim.
They're all winners, you know, so they've got to do just that, a basket at a time, see if they can get something going.
As Odin Wingy down the court, ball's out. It will stay Manchester ball. As we see a substitution, Shea Oyewele checking in for Isla Habal. And Habal, 6 points, 3 rebounds, a couple of assists, 3 steals in the game already. As Robinson drives to the basket. And it looked like Kursite got a hand on that one. Warren. And ball's out of bounds, and that'll go back with Manchester. Costa driving to the basket. Again, it's the presence of Diorama and Kursite inside there, those twin towers, making it really difficult for the Mystics to get a shot round.
It's tough to respond to that sort of size, isn't it?
Kursite into Diorama, what a pass! As Odin Wingy hands it over to Robinson. Robinson on the baseline, out to Hernandez. Hernandez for three. That one pops out. And the Mystics struggling a bit inside, size-wise. As Warren knocks down the three for CoLA. Mystics looking for an answer here. Robinson goes against Diorama, draws the foul, and that's going to put Isabel Robinson back at the line. As we got a substitution. Amelie Saleu and Lavelle Green checking into the game for CoLA. And Robinson at the line for two, hits the first. Isabel Robinson, she spent some time in the Women's British Basketball League last season for the Mystics. Goes 2 of 2 from the line, and such a valuable experience for a player like her to get playing with such a high-level team in the WBBL.
Yeah, I mean, and she was coming on in leaps and bounds as well. I mean, I happened to be here the day she got injured, and it was horrible. It was an ACL, and obviously those words are what strike fear into any athlete, you know, younger and older. But she's come back. She's feeling good. She's feeling strong.
As Hernandez steps through inside, gets that to drop, and started at the other end. Irene Obodo stole the ball away, puts herself in the way again to stop that break. And Obodo racing, reverse, doesn't get that to fall. Odin Wingy is going to put her at the line.
But that was what you need when you're players like this. You need to be able to get your shot off. That's an Alex Hernandez move. We've seen that for years, yeah. So for her to get that basket, that's going to G her up a little bit. You know, you're thinking if Irene can get one of those as well, you know, an Irene Obodo type move, then you get onto that run. But you know, there's a long time to go in this game, and it's difficult when you're down this much. But you've just got to persevere and stick with it.
And Odin Wingy hits both from the line. Also playing in Division 1 this season for the Mystics. And an improved last couple of minutes here from Manchester.
Yeah, this is more like the Mystics basketball we used to seeing.
Cabia, threes up, off the rim, chased down though and gets her own offensive board. Saleu. And Hernandez jumps in, steals the ball, and it's loose, but that's the pressure Alex Hernandez puts on the ball. Yeah. As the shot clock runs down.
A good defensive spell there for the Mystics. Once again, that's what Alex Hernandez likes to do. She likes to irritate players when she's defending them, and she's so good at getting in these little steals, which she stripped the ball away there, and usually she likes to go on those tearaways down the floor. So
Ellie Costa can't finish, and Alex Hernandez, she was the defensive player of the year in WABL North this season, and that just shows what she can do. As CoLA drop in another basket on the break. Oyewele to Kabia. Kabia finds space inside, hands it off to Kursite, who's fouled, and you see there the Mystics converging inside, 3 players onto the dribble. Kursite's free underneath the basket, gets the foul call.
Absolutely, but doesn't Kursite seem so in control of the situation right now, the way she brings her players in to talk things over. Such a level-headed player.
And again, the majority of this CoLA team were part of the Division 1 playoff winning team last weekend. They play throughout the different levels at WEABL under 18, Division 1, and they play so much basketball together, and you get so in sync and so much practice with that.
Yeah. And that's something that you can't buy, you know what I mean? Playing together for as long and as much as these players do, it becomes like a second language to you, doesn't it?
It does completely. It's Kursite averaging at 7.1 points per game, at 7.7 rebounds in Division 1 this season. Hits the second free throw. As Isla Habal checking back into the game alongside Freya Hawkins for the first time for CoLA. Hernandez. Odom-Wingy, nice pass inside. Costa's shot drops, and that was a tough move over the outstretched arms there. And Manchester forcing a turnover. And what you want to do in this situation, Anna, if you're the Mystics here, you want to try and win this quarter. You want to try and win the first 5 minutes of this quarter, or 2 minutes of this quarter, and take it run by run.
And try to forget about the first quarter, because 32-5 is a scoreline that's going to haunt Rob Fairley. And if they can pull this one back in, they're 16-8 down at the moment.
And Blake Smith with a rebound and puts it back in. As Habal racing down the sideline. Going against Odom-Wingy. Saleu kicks it out. Habal, three's up. Bounces out. Saleu with a big rebound. As Oyewele's deep three doesn't drop. And it's stolen away by Habal. Right place, right time for Isla Habal.
Oh, big block, Hernandez.
She's a very disruptive player, is Alex Hernandez.
Yeah, that was a great block, but then unfortunately she put her foot out of play when she landed. But otherwise, that was a stunning piece of defense from Alex.
Habal swings it round. Oyewele. Out to Green in the corner. And it's picked up by Clark. Finds a way inside. Again, that's going to put Clark back at the foul line. And that foul is on Sarah Blake-Smith. Her first foul for the Mystics and her second team foul. As Clark's first free throw spins out. And second is good. As we'll have Felicia Jacobs back into the game for CoLA. Shea Oyewele taking a well-deserved rest. 6 points for her, 4 rebounds and 6 assists in the game. Such a great passer.
Yeah, CoLA putting on a show now, Kaz. Really impressive stuff, but that's a nice move. Didn't quite go for the Mystics, but it's been better. The Mystics have been playing better this last couple of minutes.
Yeah, definitely. And A 16-10 quarter, this quarter for CoLA. Blake Smith hands it off to Abodo. Abodo to the basket, left-handed layup's good. And that takes Abodo to 4 points in the game. Clark inside. Not that time. And you can see there the hustle from Irene Abodo, getting her body in the way. Scoring at the other end, running back on defense. CoLA ball, but they're the kind of hustle plays that are so important in the game. Absolutely.
I mean, Irene going to be feeling tired from the previous 3 games she's played in this weekend, obviously, but...
In like the last 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean...
Clark, shot doesn't drop. And what a save there by Green. And Costa's shot doesn't fall. And Jacobs all alone at the other end, drops it in. And that takes Felicia Jacobs to 10 points, 7 rebounds in just 10 minutes of play. Hernandez, blocked, picked up by Costa. Back around to Hernandez, going against the ball. Green with 3 seconds to go. Green falling, but gets the whistle. And Lavelle Green is heading to the free throw line with a chance to increase this CoLA lead.
I mean, if you think about the pressure that players like Irene are under, though, Kaz, you know what I mean? It's like when you are as good as they are and you're playing at 2 levels of basketball, 2 age groups, what do you do, you know what I mean? It's like you're a victim of your own talent in a way, you know, because it takes its toll on you. 1 hard game is a lot. To play 4 in a weekend?
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
It's crazy.
Not a lot of time as Green gets the shot to drop. And at the end of the first half, it is CoLA 53, the Manchester Mystics 17. The Mystics having a better second quarter there. And have been led by Irene Abodo with 4 points, 4 rebounds. Isabel Robinson has 5 points. And for CoLA, Felicia Jacobs in just over 10 minutes of play, 10 points, 7 rebounds. And Shea Oyewale has 6 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. And Aaliyah Clark, 9 points, 5 rebounds and an assist. So some work for the Mystics to do here. Going into half-time, but a chance to adjust, have a look at what might be working, what might not be working so well, and come out back in the third quarter. So I'm joined again by Dave Owen. Good to have you back here, Dave. What have you seen from that second quarter? An improved performance from the Mystics, not quite where they need to be, but improved on the first quarter.
Yeah, I think, you know, Coach Rowley's obviously had a word after the first quarter, got them mentally back on track. You know, they've not let it got them down. They've still got the composure. They're still just trying everything. They just can't make the shots at the moment. And I think a lot of that must, you know, you look at the success Manchester have had this season, they can clearly make shots, right? They wouldn't be here if they couldn't.
Exactly.
So you've got to look at CoLA scouting. So all those shots now coming outside of their comfort zones, are they taking away from the players the shots, the areas of the shots that they want to take them? It seems to me CoLA's done an outstanding job, and they're just making them uncomfortable and trying to take them out of the things that they want to do.
And they've done a really good job of closing them down on fast break points, because we know that the Mystics are a team that like to play fast, like to get out into transition. And CoLA, I feel like we see this every time we see them play, because they're so defensively minded. They do a really good job with the scout, and they're able to close teams down like that.
Yeah, and for me, CoLA, it's just the composure of the team. You know, watch them over that first half. You take any snapshot of the game right at the start when they don't know what's going to happen. You know, at the end when they know they've got a big lead, and in between where things maybe go against them at times, there's just no change in any of those players' demeanour. The emotional maturity and the culture and the energy of that team is just so steady and so consistent. And it feels like whether they're up 20, down 20, you'd never know. And
it's so consistent throughout the years, isn't it, as well? They had quite a bit of turnover in the last few years, and across the WABL, the Under-18s Division 1, they've still managed to be just winning this season.
Yeah, and obviously winning's a habit. You know, they won here last weekend in the Division 1 Women's Final. So, you know, you think about winning as a team when things are going against you, or you're in a big final, big arena. You're looking at those players around you, your teammates, thinking, well, last time we were in this situation, she came through for us. She came through for us. And you're looking and you're trusting each other. So even when the game's going against you, you're looking at who's on your left, who's on your right, saying, oh, I think we've got this because we've been here before, and we always make it happen as a team together. And it's that trust of the teammates, and that's why winning becomes such a habit for teams.
Absolutely, and we saw them last weekend. They were down against Ipswich in Division 1. They came back and just had an outrageous performance, didn't they? Came up with a huge win in the end. And me and Adam have spoken a little bit about Felicia Jacobs, obviously one of the most talented young players we've got in the country. Heading over to Philadelphia for university in September. Just talk to me a little bit about Felicia Jacobs' play.
Yeah, it's one of those you saw very, very early on when she first came into like the GB under-16s, and you start to think, okay, obviously you see the size straight away that you know, okay, we've got a prospect here, but she's just grown and grown year on year. And obviously CoLA's such an outstanding program for developing players and making the most of them. And again, you know, if I'm a US recruiter, a high character player is always such a big factor in your recruitment, particularly when you're recruiting for internationals, because you know you never quite know someone moving to a different country, away from their support network. You never quite know how it's going to go. So when you see the way these CoLA girls carry themselves and their demeanour on the court, and you know the culture that Jackson Gibbons instills, that gives you confidence as a recruiter to know that, okay, I know what they can do with a basketball, but I know what they're going to be for me in terms of the adjustment to moving over here, the impact they're going to have on the culture of this environment. And I think that's a massive selling point for these CoLA players.
Absolutely, and Coach Jackson Gibbons and Brian Nguru have talked a long time ago about the culture and composure of players. It's not just about basketball, it's about like life and coaching for life.
100%.
So for the Manchester Mystics, obviously work to do here in the second half, but who on this team is going to look like they can step into a leadership role here and kind of take over a little bit in the third quarter?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the WABL stats, seeing, okay, who can make some threes on this team? Because you've got to hit threes in the second half. You know, you've got to close that gap, and that's the obvious route to do it. So you've got the two Costas and Escriva Gay. So those are the three that kind of jumped out to me in the WABL stats that can maybe give us some help from the three-point line. They both took about all three took about 4 to 5 shots a game. You know, 20-30% or somewhere in the middle around there. So that's kind of the obvious route. You know, you just got to start chucking some shots. But obviously, if they're not falling, you know, that can get really, really bad really quick if their rebounds are going out and then the fast breaks are going. So I think, you know, the big thing for them is mentally, isn't it? They've got to come into the second half almost having the heads that it's 0-0, 0-0, and just try and find a different. Maybe the coaches need to reframe what success looks like in the second half and give them some kind of short-term targets. Okay, for the next 2 minutes, we have to score more than them.
Yes.
You know, just make it really simple. Maybe give some individual players targets, what you want from them individually. Focus a player on rebounds, maybe offensive rebounds, give them some second chance opportunities, and get some things in their head they can really focus in on that kind of micro level, instead of looking up at the scoreboard every time and thinking, oh, that's just too much.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You've just got to break it into chunks, haven't you, into something manageable. CoLA currently winning the battle of the boards, 40 rebounds to 22 to Manchester. Manchester with 13 offensive rebounds, but CoLA with 13 offensive rebounds. So that's a positive that the Mystics can look at. You know, they might not be getting the points, but they're getting the chances to get the points. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you've seen the effort that the Mystics players are putting in. You know, when you see them competing on the rebounds, like, it's very easy to drop your heads, drop your effort level in a game like this. But that's the area you can see. You know, the numbers prove it, that, you know, they are really working and pressuring and trying to get those rebounds and hustling. They've just got to, like you say, the offensive rebounds could be a big one for them and get some second chance opportunities. They've probably got to do a little more to prevent CoLA getting the offensive rebounds. You know, they've got to be one and done for the rest of the game now, really. You can't afford to give them second chance points. And then fast breaks is probably the other one as well. It was almost every time Manchester maybe rushed or forced a shot slightly, bang, CoLA were right down and got an easy layup. And, you know, that's such a double kind of negative in terms of, oh, I've just missed a shot and now I've just conceded an easy basket at the other end. It's very easy for that momentum to start to go against you, and they've got to turn that energy around. Yeah, there's time. They don't need to rush shots, do they? There's still time. You've still got 24 seconds to take a shot. You can work the ball around, which when we see them move the ball around well, they get good looks. And a player like Sarah Blake-Smith, one of the taller players on the Mystics, is 6 foot. She was the WEABL Most Improved Player in the North this season. Obviously, it's tough to come against 4 bigs inside like you have in CoLA, but she's done a good job so far and able to find some space.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Manchester have got the players. I think it's just they've got to have that trust almost in each other now. You know, we've maybe seen players trying to take it on their own shoulders a little bit and try and force it. You know, they've got to stick to their principles as a club, stick to their system, and trust each other. You know, it's easy to trust each other when you're up. It's a little harder sometimes. People kind of make rash decisions when you're down. So they've just got to stick to what they know, stick to what got them here. You know, they obviously have a system that works, or they wouldn't be in the final, right?
Yeah.
So they've got to stick with the confidence in it. Not lose the faith and stick with each other, stick together as a team and stick to their principles.
And me and Adam were just speaking a little bit before. Irina Boado, so she's playing at the under-18 level, also playing for the under-16s. This is her 4th game of the weekend, and we see it throughout a lot of these competitions. There's a lot of players either playing, you know, under-14s, under-16s, or under-18s, under-16s. They just play so much basketball, and they're sometimes playing different roles on different teams.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, just even if they're not playing different age groups, just that back-to-back format of the junior Final Fours, you never know how that first game's going to go. If that's a real, you know, not necessarily physical energy drain, but emotionally energy draining, that can be the big one. Because physically, you know, we have all the sports science and we know how to recover, but sometimes if the game is very emotionally draining, it's a lot, you know, especially at this age group, you know, it's very, very hard for them to recover from that and, you know, perform to the area they'd like to in the second game. Yeah,
definitely, and there's, you know, probably exam season as well for some of them, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, a lot going on in these kids' life other than basketball. You know, they're not full-time pros. This isn't all they have to focus on, right?
Definitely. Right, great to have you with us, Dave. Thank you. We'll be back to you in the 3rd quarter. So, teams getting ready to come back out on court for the 3rd quarter. CoLA with a strong 53-17 lead here over the Manchester Mystics in the under-18 women's final. Coming up after this game, we have the under-18 men's final between London United and Canterbury Academy Crusaders. We'll be right here bringing you that game on the Basketball England YouTube channel. And also across the court, we've got the 3rd and 4th place playoff game between Nottingham Wildcats and Ipswich. Ipswich currently with a 4-point lead, 31-27 in that one. And Louisa Gibbons, 12 points, 9 rebounds already. She's looking at a double-double over there as they're fighting for 3rd place. So back out on court, CoLA eager to get things started. And Adam, you made it to the coffee machine.
Well, it's actually a cold coffee.
Oh.
I'm trying to make it into an iced cappuccino to soothe my
I've still not been brought an ice cream.
Yeah,
I just want to reiterate that.
Kaz needs ice cream.
Starting things off in the 3rd, Herbal with another steal. She's been making life very difficult for the Mystics. Over to Oyuwele. Into Jacobs. Jacobs is doubled. That's some good pressure there from the Mystics. Herbal, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Oyuwele, shot short. As you see, Ellie Costa over to Escriva. Into Robinson, working against Jacobs. And you see the positioning there of Kursak, just stands in the way, gets her hands in the air, so she's ready to just block the ball.
Well, she's got that incredible wingspan as well, do you know what I mean? So when she puts her arms out, it's very tough to get past her.
Escriva's 3 doesn't fall, but Boado's there, cleans it back up, puts the ball back in the net. Irina Boado leading the Division 1 Mystics team in scoring this season at just 15 years old. She has 12.8 points per game, 6.1 rebounds and 2.4 assists. As Oyuwele's 3 doesn't fall. Great save there by Jacobs. As Kabia with a handoff to Kursite, but can't finish, and a better effort defensively here from the Mystics.
Well, that's going to be their way back into this game. Try and play CoLA at their own game. Starts with good defense. Oh, Irene went down hard there.
And that's the Oboido drive that you see
what you were saying there, you forget, because this is an under-18s game, you forget that Irene is 15 years old, yeah?
16 next week.
She's got another couple of years at this, you know? The Irene story is far from over. I mean, she also has a younger sister, Jane, who's playing for the under-14s.
Yeah, except she's not, because she's representing England at the Euros at the under-17 level today.
In football.
In football, sorry.
How about that for talent? So Jane couldn't be at Final Fours because she's playing for England at the European Football Championships.
Future Lioness.
Yeah. I was talking to the coach, Jim Carnegie, and I was like, well, what do you do? He's like, what can you do to that? What can you possibly say to that? You know, there is no answer.
Habal, round to Jacobs. Long pass over to Oyuele. And ball's out of bounds. So Mystics will get it back. And as me and Dave were saying at half-time, Adam, Dave was saying, you know, you've got a set goal. The Mystics here, you want to set goals for the third quarter. Can we win the next 2 minutes? Can we get the most offensive rebounds in the next couple of minutes?
Absolutely. It's the only way to get into these games. You've got to play a game within the game. You know, I've been here as a coach where you go in at half-time and it's like that and you don't know what to do. But, you know, as my under-16s third team proved this year, it can be done. They came back from 35 points down at half-time and won in overtime. It can be done. You know, it's just that cliche we keep using. It's a game of runs. So Dave's absolutely right. You've got to set little targets. Doesn't matter how crazy they are, because when you hit them, your head comes back up again.
And Manchester actually winning the battle of the offensive rebounds at 15 to CoLA's 14. And whilst they may not be scoring from them, they're positioning themselves to get those chances, which, I mean, you're halfway there. As Jacobs tips it into her hands, keeps control, going against the Bodo.
But there's other little things that you can do as well, like try and make CoLA force some bad shots. Like that shot there, for example, probably wasn't the shot that they wanted to take. So if you can get them putting up shots they don't want to take, it's all part of the psyche of trying to chip away at a really big lead.
Definitely. Habal, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Cabia going inside. Kicks it out. Habal with the shot clock running down. And a 24-second shot clock violation.
Well, good little spell for the Mystics there. Everything that we talked about just.
As a Bodo can't get it to drop off the glass, we've got a whistle. And that was on Isabel Robinson. That's her second. Jacobs, round to Habal. Cabia in the corner, no good. Jacobs with the rebound. You can just see there the reach of Felicia Jacobs. She has such a long wingspan. And a turnover called on the Mystics. Habal. Out to Oyuele, 3 doesn't drop. Daisy Bryan bringing it up for the Mystics. Escriva steps through and a short jumper won't fall. And that's just been unlucky in some parts for the Mystics, hasn't it, Adam?
Yeah,
the shots just not, they're good looks, they just haven't dropped.
Yeah, I mean, they've made some really good moves throughout the game, but when they're not dropping, so they've just got to try and stick with it.
Habal lines up the 3. Not that time. It's chased down, but it'll be last touch, CoLA. As the ball goes back the way of the Mystics. And over on the other court, we have a tie game at 34-all between Ipswich and Nottingham in the 3rd and 4th place under-18 women's playoff. Ball's knocked away. Abodo stepping round her ball and draws the whistle. And that's going to put Irene Abodo at the free throw line.
Just to give you an update from the back room here at Bellevue as well, we've got the under-14s boys playoff final happening. London Elite 32, Manchester Magic 30. Sounds like it's an exciting game back there, not much in it. And they're midway through the second quarter, so open up another window on your browser, watch both games.
Get your split screens
Get
going
your
on.
split screens going.
As Abodo hits the first free throw. She was named MVP of the England Four Nations Under-16 tournament last month, and also MVP of the Under-19 Dynamic Schools Finals. Hopped off the plane of from the Under-16s tournament 2 hours later, had 24 points, 21 rebounds and 7 assists in the schools game. Kersite chases down the rebound. Habal round to the corner, 2 seconds on the shot clock. Jacobs tries to get it back in, gets the rebound.
Well, she was virtually quadruple team there. Every one but one was on her under the basket.
And jump ball's force, it goes with the Mystics. And Jacobs with a huge 12 rebounds, 10 points, 5 offensive rebounds, Adam, in just 15 minutes.
Impressive numbers for sure.
Escriva round to Bryant. Abodo with a short jumper, in and out. It's going to be the story of the game for Manchester.
Yeah.
And if you look at the score so far in the first, we're just approaching the halfway mark, but Manchester actually outscoring CoLA in this one 4-0, and they've been able to do a good job defensively. As Escriva's three doesn't fall, but Abodo gets the Mystics another chance. But Habal read that and scoops up another steal as she passes it over to Diorama. And Diorama heading to the foul line. And Adora Diorama, she was the Under-17 Player of the Year in the WABL South this season. Out with the England Under-18 squad at the Four Nations last month as well. 8.1 rebounds a game in Division 1. And hits the second free throw. Escriva over to Bryant. Robinson's shot is good. Cabia hands it off to Habal. Kicks it back out. Cabia's shot off the rim, but Wilson Oswede dives in. And another chance on offense for CoLA. And a jump ball is called.
It looks like Mystics have gone to a zone, so that seems to be a little bit more effective than what they were doing in the first half. And it looks like, I couldn't work out whether it was a 3-2 or a 2-3 zone, but looks like Coach Fairley's opted for that one, and it's working pretty well. It's certainly shutting CoLA down a little bit. It's such a strange game though, Kaz. Only 6-1 in this quarter in favour of Mystics.
So CoLA out to an incredibly hot 32-point first quarter, holding the Mystics to just 5. And then having flipped a little bit here in the third quarter. As you say, a 6-1 quarter for the Mystics, holding CoLA to just a point so far in the game. In a game like this, Adam, when you're down by quite a lot, as the Mystics are, you want to try and take, as much defensive possessions as you can get. Try and make those stops. And if you win the quarter, as Dave mentioned again at half-time, that's those little battles. You can come away from it and you won one quarter or you win a second quarter. Yeah. And that's something to work on. Over on the other court for the under-18 women, Ipswich have a 3-point lead over Nottingham. And it's just been an absolutely fantastic day of basketball. Fantastic to see all the support in the crowd. We've got so many fans, so many friends and family of players and supporters out there. It's so loud, isn't it, Adam? It's just incredibly loud.
I think this is the quiet that it's been for
oh, don't say that. They're going to hear it. Someone just pulled out a vuvuzela.
Wow.
Back on court. That's a 24-second violation.
Well, that's the second one for the Mystics now, which is a good sign for them.
So Mystics ball, Aboado, driving baseline, kick the ball's knocked as she tries to swing it round. As Maddie Warren checking in for Isla Habal. Warren played with the under-16 Richmond Knights last season. First season with CoLA. Oh, nice little handoff there from Escriva into Robinson. But it's stolen away by Wilson Aswide. So into the corner. It's Diorama out to Clark. Wilson Aswide on the baseline. Can't get that to drop. Costa to Robinson, gets it back underneath the hoop, just too far underneath the basket. And Warren hits the three for CoLA. Ipswich increase the lead. Costa driving, layup doesn't fall. That is going to put Ellie Costa at the foul line.
You want to talk about kind of signature move, that's Ellie Costa right there.
Yeah, finds a way to get to the basket. We've seen her do it through Division 1 this season.
And was it her or her sister that hit that big time buzzer beater in the...
I love this trivia question. It was Ellie Costa that hit the shot. It was Karina Costa that passed it in. Yeah. Sister to sister, Costa to Costa. The Aspire North buzzer beater a couple of years ago.
That was a great moment.
Second free throw is good, and we see Ellie Costa check out for Karina.
Costa for Costa.
Just under 3 to play in the third. Warren in the corner. Won't go. Karina Costa controls it for the Mystics. Escriva into Robinson. And a reaching foul, that'll be on Clark. Fourth team foul on CoLA. Bryant looking to get it in. Aboado's there. Cabia around to Wilson Aswide. Ball's kicked. We got a substitution. Success Odomungi checking back in. And Irene Aboado heading to the bench for the Mystics. And Aboado leading the Mystics in scoring with 8 points and 8 rebounds and a couple of steals in the game so far. Warren. Over to Cabia. Cabia for the long three. Doesn't drop. Wilson Asuide's there for the rebound and cleans it up.
Oh. Isabel Robinson looked like a wide receiver then, the way she was clobbered by the CoLA player, but she's back on her feet quick. We know how tough she is.
Saleu checking it in for CoLA. Odom Wingy racing to the basket, puts it in. Warren. Diorama stepping through inside. Somehow gets it over to Clark, whereas Escriva's there, just grabs her hand on it and forces to jump ball. And Alex Escriva, since coming into the game, she's done that several times.
Yeah.
Odom Wingy out to Costa, lines up the three, bounces out. Odom Wingy with the rebound and the short floater.
Oh.
Just won't fall.
When they're not falling, they're not falling, because 9 times out of 10 you fancy that one to go in, wouldn't you?
Exactly, we've seen success do that all season long in Division 1. Saleu out to Wilson Asuide. Daisy Bryan pulls down the rebound for Manchester. Costa shot's too strong, but it's out of bounds. And last touch, Manchester. So last minute of the third quarter. The Mystics taking this quarter so far 10-6. And a low-scoring quarter for CoLA.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Yet they scored 32 points in the first, 21 in the second, and just 6 in this quarter. And look at the score. It just doesn't make sense. If you were reading the stats, you'd think we were going crazy, Cass.
And a shot clock violation.
Another shot clock violation.
The ball didn't hit the rim, so a much better second half for the Mystics defensively. Obviously, a long way to go for them, but you've got to take those positives. You've got to take those wins. And this is a team that will have some players back next year. Yeah. And you want to have this in your mind if you come up on this stage again. You know how to play against it.
I mean, I think Coach Jackson Gibbons is a little bit perplexed. He's right in front of us, and he's probably trying to get his head around it himself because the score's so odd in this quarter.
Well, credit to the Mystics for working hard on defense and being able to slow CoLA down a bit here in the second half. Again, another jump ball is forced, and Adam, I say this I think every time we do one of these games. I want to see the number of jump balls someone's forced on the stat sheet.
Yeah. To me, the jump ball is a very controversial area to discuss. Maybe it's one for a podcast.
Oh, is it?
I mean, the traditional jump ball is what it says it is. It's a jump ball, and you know, sometimes when you're in the game and you see which way the arrow's pointing, and it's clearly, you know, not fair. Basically, it's like, nah. I just feel like the traditional jump ball would be welcome back. Please counter me. I
do enjoy the traditional jump ball. However, the amount we sometimes see in games, we might have really long games when we have to stop, put the ball up.
Yeah.
And it does make it slightly quicker.
Yeah, but no, like I say, it's an open argument that could go on for a long time. But
I am a fan of it. I am a fan of when you see a Muggsy Bogues coming up against a Shaq in a jump ball situation.
Yeah.
And with the clock running down, the shot won't drop. And the 50 29-27 lead for CoLA over the Mystics, and Manchester taking that quarter 10-6. So a good defensive performance from the Mystics. And we'll welcome back in Dave. Dave, just saying there, 6 points for CoLA in that quarter, 10 for the Mystics, an improved defensive performance that we've seen there from Manchester, holding CoLA to 6 points. Yeah,
it's fantastic to see, because, you know, that Manchester team needed something that feels like success for them to kind of get their minds back into the game and start to feel positive about themselves as players. So fantastic to see that. You know, hopefully that was a target for them coming out in the second half. Let's just win the third quarter. Let's have something to celebrate.
Exactly. And what have you seen coming out in the third from the Mystics?
I think Odinwingie seemed to be a difference maker for me. She just had a kind of determination and drive to really kind of put the team on her shoulders and try and start to make a difference. But to be honest, throughout the game, the shots they've taken up have been bad basketball shots. You know, the quality's been there. There's just a lid on the basketball tonight, and that happens sometimes.
That's exactly what we're saying. Sometimes it just bounces out, doesn't it? You know, it just doesn't fall your way. And we've seen those looks. The players have had those looks all season, and it's just unfortunate when they don't try when you need them to in a final.
Yeah, I think Irene in particular, you know, that's one of your go-to players, and the shots she's taking are really good shots at times, and we know she can make them. And you can see the look on her face, just being like, "What have I got to do to get a basket tonight?" And it just goes that way sometimes.
It does, and for CoLA, again, 6 points in that quarter, but again, just a dominant performance for them throughout the game. And Coach Jackson's used his rotation really well, getting on everyone on his roster, seen some court time. The majority of players scored. Who have you seen on the CoLA squad that we maybe don't see as often now on court?
Well, this is a scary thing, isn't it? He's played all 12 players. But the depth of talent they have is like there's no drop-off, and they're so disciplined with their system and they're trusting each other that you almost don't notice whether it's the last 5 players on the bench or the top 5 starters. It's just like the quality's there, and it's scary.
Absolutely. Maddie Warren off the bench with 6 points as we're back underway for the fourth and final quarter. Thank you, Dave. We'll be back with you and the men's under-18 game following this one.
Stats suggest you go to Dave Owen's website.
Dave Owen Basketball.
Dave Owen Basketball.
I'll tell you what.
Well, I mean, for the sake of when I'm doing the podcast and whatever, you know, I'm on it a lot. It's an incredible website.
As Robinson rejected by Diorama. Ball nearly goes out of the venue, out of the door.
And past DJ Waite.
Dave's website, a really valuable resource for anyone that wants to look up some stats where players have played before. As Green can't get to go, but it's picked up by Diorama. And Diorama, we saw this in the Division 1 playoff final last weekend, Adam. She's just right place, right time under the basket, just cleans it up. And that is a tough move and tough finish. Under pressure, under the outstretched arms of Isabel Robinson. No problem for Adora Diorama. She's got 11 points and 9 rebounds. And the ball will stay with the Mystics here.
So CoLA have got 2 players on a double-double, Kaz. Felicia Jacobs has 10 points and 14 rebounds. Adora Diorama, 11 and 10.
And Jacobs played 16 minutes, a lot less than her usual court time. But again, as Dave said, that shows the depth that CoLA have.
Doesn't it just?
As Brian's long 2 is good. As OULA kicks it to the corner. Jacobs keeps hold of it. And it's picked up there by Hernandez. Odinwingie up ahead. Into Robinson. Swings it round to Obodo, who knocks it down. And that's some good ball movement there from the Mystics. Hawkins. Round the outside, great screen from Jacobs. And the ball's out. With 6 seconds on the shot clock. It will be CoLA ball. And Jacobs is fouled underneath the hoop. And that's going to put her at the line. That is foul number 1 on Daisy Bryan. Felicia Jacobs, we've spoken about her all game long, Adam, but a player that puts on such a show on the big stages like this. She does it week in, week out in every league that she's playing in.
Well, big-time players love a big stage. It's as simple as that. And, you know, Felicia loves to play on this sort of stage, and we've seen it a lot, and we're going to see it a lot.
And the second one doesn't drop with a reach there. The save in from Hawkins. Just one-handed grab to save the ball. And CoLA retain possession. Diorama hands it off to Jacobs. 5 seconds on the shot clock. And foul on Odin Wingy. That's her second for the Mystics. Hawkins back to OULA.
Oh, nice pass.
As Aboado gets the whistle at the other end, nearly kicks Mansour in the
stops
face.
to say hello to Mansour while she's down there. I wonder if Mansour had the camera pointing at the time. Good to see Mansour here, of course.
Doing an awesome job.
One of the most legendary photographers of the game of basketball there is in this country. That guy's done it all.
Give him a follow on Instagram. He'll put some classic pictures up sometimes.
Hey, listen, the amount of time I spent bending his ear about telling me about the time he photographed the Bulls and Michael Jordan. Yeah, Mansour has taken Michael Jordan's photograph.
That's going to be one of his top 10 if he's doing a top 10.
Well, he said that the hardest part was remembering he was there to take photographs, because you just want to look at him, and he showed me some very his personal collection that aren't for public consumption of Jordan shots. You know, sometimes you've got to keep something for yourself, but it was a real privilege to see a couple of them. You know, it's nice to see Mark Ferris on hand as well.
So many people working so hard behind the scenes as Hernandez drives. Odin Wingy tips it out.
Good rebound from Odin Wingy there. Oh, sorry, I'm having a sunset moment.
And back into the game is Amelie Saleu for CoLA. Saleu, part of that under-18s National Cup winning squad back in January. Again, when they faced the Mystics back in January, a rematch. And CoLA looking just as dominant as they did back then. Diorama out to OULA. Not that time, Green. And it's intercepted by Aboado. Aboado spins, drops it in.
There you go. If you want to see Irene Aboado on toast, there it is.
It's that nice spin move she's got going to the basket. And Aboado leading the Mystics in scoring with 14 points in the game. And 8 rebounds. As we have a jump ball. And it stays with CoLA. Leah Clark checking in. And Freya Hawkins heading to the bench for CoLA. Oh, apologies. I've been given the wrong number. That's not Hawkins, that's Abigail Isibor. I do apologise. As Hernandez's shot doesn't fall. And Isibor heads to the bench with an assist. Hernandez's shot's good. And the second one doesn't go.
We just want to thank Wilson, Dynamic, Sure Shot, Sport Serve, Sport England, and of course Basketball England for putting on another incredible event, Kaz. It's just these events get better and better the more of them we do.
They do bigger and better. And great to see the support out there. Green to Diorama. Shot doesn't drop, tapped into the hands of Odin Wingy.
Nice
Over
pass.
to Obodo. Can't get it to drop.
So you normally bet your life on Irene hitting that shot.
As Hernandez hits a three. Again, the Mystics able to outscore CoLA this quarter. So Obodo over to Odin Wingy. Finishes at the rim. Diorama over to Herbal. So coming up after this game, we've got the under-18 men's final between London United and Canterbury Academy Crusaders. And over in the fourth place playoff game for the under-18 women, it is Ipswich with a 64-44 lead over the Nottingham Wildcats. Louisa Gibbons has got 20 points for Ipswich and 20 rebounds. That's an impressive double-double. And for the Wildcats, Valerie Casadina-Falco has 15 and 8 and 4 assists. But back on court here, it's Diorama. Herbal. Clark, stolen away by Hernandez. Hernandez going all the way. Doesn't get it to drop. It was picked up by Odin Wingy, and a foul is called.
I mean, it's a stat that you never really want to hear the answer to as a coach, but if you could add up these shots that on any day of the week would normally go down for Alex or for Irene, Isabel Robinson.
Exactly,
The mind boggles because, you know, you'd bet your life on these guys hitting some of these shots.
Good for Odin Wingy.
And somehow the Mystics have brought it to within 20, Kaz.
Wait, they were down 39 earlier, so that's, as we said, you've got to take the wins, and that's an achievement, chipping into this.
The ball's just looking back at the bench there. I'm not sure if she was waiting some instructions, but Rob Fairley screaming out the instructions on defense from the side there.
Cabia against Hernandez. Over to Herbal, and the shot clock runs down. And another 24-second violation.
That's 4.5 for Mystics. I mean, that's a really good sign. I mean, this zone defense seems to be making all the difference for him.
Yeah, outscoring CoLA 15-4 in this quarter. The best quarter the Mystics have had scoring-wise so far. Robinson out to Hernandez. Three's too strong. Herbal kicks it over to Cabia. Nice spin move inside from Gloria Cabia. And jump ball. Stays with Manchester.
At this point in the game, with 3:17, 19 points down, you've got to be looking at the scoreboard at the foul count. And the Mystics in pretty good shape in terms of fouls, so you sort of start wondering, do you try and break the momentum by, on defense, going in that little bit harder you know, taking a couple more risks just to, you know, break up that momentum, send CoLA to the foul line. It's CoLA looking a little bit frustrated right now. Still very much in control, but...
So Manchester having held CoLA to just 9 second half points after a 32-point bonanza in the first quarter. Obodo out to Odemwingie, lines up the 3, spins out, but it's
a huge
put back
rebound
in by
from
Robinson.
Isabel Robinson there. So the 2-3 zone is what seems to be doing it for the Mystics right now.
Ball's out of bounds.
So just to explain to any listeners that might not understand what I mean by zone defense, it means that basically your player literally plays in a zone. So in that instance, the Mystics have 2 at the top and then 3 at the back rather than marking their player individually in what they call man-to-man marking. What it does is it allows you to free up some space to go into help defense. In other words, it makes double teams a little bit easier. And it's really working for the Mystics.
And they're getting inside, getting those foul calls.
And they're getting inside, yeah.
As that's going to put Irene Obodo back at the line. That is foul number 2 on Cabia. First shot doesn't fall for Obodo. And Obodo leading the way for the Mystics, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists and 3 steals. As the second is good. Clark hands it off to Cabia. Diorama. And Diorama's going to go to the line.
The other way the zone works really well is when you've got a predator like Alex Hernandez at the top there, they anticipate the game so well that when these passes come across, they're just waiting for that split second just to reach out and knock the ball and get out on an open breakaway. So it's really set up for players like her. But it gives them a chance to show how good on offense they can be as well.
Definitely, and Hernandez has 5 steals in the game as Diorama's first doesn't drop. Second off the front of the rim, rebound by Robinson. As Obodo backs it out. Pass picked up by Odemwingie to Obodo in the corner. Lines up the 3, too strong. Habal out to Clark. No good, and you see Hernandez there just chasing the ball down. As we'll have a substitution for Manchester. Maria Bianco into the game for the first time alongside Molly Finn. As Habal takes the long 2, doesn't get the roll. The ball goes out into reception. And comes back in. So back into the game for CoLA. Abigail Izibor. Bianco into Robinson. Bianco gets it back. Finn behind the 3-point line. Bianco lines it up. No good. Ball heads to the bench for CoLA. Saleu back in to approach the last minute. And Manchester with a 19-3 run this quarter. Maddie Warren, Deborah Wilson-Aswede back in for CoLA. Esther Kersite and Aaliyah Clark to the bench. Escriva won't go. Oyuele round the outside. Three's off the glass, and it's Warren. Saves it in for CoLA, back to Warren. Warren gets it back behind the arc, over to Wilson-Aswede. Oyuele directing traffic. Wilson-Aswede in the corner. Warren again saves it in for CoLA. As the shot won't fall. And Costa for the Mystics. Is it round? And with 1 second to go, that's going to do it. Congratulations to CoLA. 62-46 winners over the Manchester Mystics. They are your under-18s women's junior Final Fours champions. A dominant performance from them. 32 points in the first quarter. And a real all-around team game. Felicia Jacobs leading the way with 11 points and 14 rebounds and a steal in 19 minutes of play. Adora Diarama, 11 points and 12 rebounds. A couple of blocks and a steal. And Aaliyah Clark off the bench with 9 points and 6 rebounds. And for the Manchester Mystics, it was Irene Oboado leading the way, 15 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists and 3 steals. And success, Odin Wingy with 8 points and 6 rebounds. Isabel Robinson, 9 points, 3 rebounds and an assist. Well, Adam, congratulations to CoLA. They played an incredible game, especially coming out as strong as they did in the first quarter.
I mean, that was an unbelievable first quarter. I mean, I don't think anyone in the room expected that to happen, to go out to a lead like that. They were just all over the Mystics, absolutely pounding them. Good credit to the Mystics, though. They had a good second half. It got much better, and in that fourth quarter, to bring the score back to what did we finish on, 62-46, they did pretty well. But yeah, CoLA did what CoLA do. They played great defense. They got down the floor quickly. The usual suspects came up big. So yeah, many congratulations to CoLA. Another great victory for them.
And over on the other coin, the third and fourth place players game, it is Ipswich finishing in third place, 64-53 over the Nottingham Wildcats. Paris Leach with 19 points and 3 rebounds and a couple of assists. And Louisa Gibbons with 20 points and 20 rebounds and 6 assists. For the Wildcats, it was Valerie Casadini-Falco, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists and 5 steals. And Alina Riley adding in 12 points and 2 steals. So, as we wait for the winners' presentations, we'll grab into the MVP and Coach Jackson Gibbons of CoLA after the game.
So, all that is left for this year's under-18s girls is the presentation. And in a couple of minutes' time, we're going to go courtside with Kaz. And she'll be talking to the winning coach for CoLA, Coach Andrew, and the game's MVP. I mean, there's a couple of candidates for that. Some good performances today by CoLA. So leading the way points-wise for the Mystics was Irene Obowodu, 15 points. And for CoLA with 11 points, Diorama. Felicia Jacobs also with 11. Impressive numbers there for Felicia Jacobs, 11 points and 14 rebounds. Diorama with 13 also. So the third and fourth game has been decided. Ipswich coming out on top there, 64-53. And the Nottingham Wildcats just receiving their fourth place medals. Congratulations to them on a great season for them. Just to bring you up to speed with what's going on in the back room here at Bellevue, there's a final going on between the Manchester Magic and the London Elite in the third quarter with 7 minutes to go. Lead the way 55-41. Magic with some work to do in the back room here at Bellevue. And of course still the under-14s girls final, which is going to be a great game between the Manchester Mystics and the Milton Keynes Breakers. The legend Jim Carnegie in his 50th year as a coach with the Mystics, seeing if he can get himself another championship. Meanwhile, back here in the show court, Ipswich receiving their third place medals. And the runners-up, the hometown Manchester Mystics, come up to receive their runners-up medals. And as I always say at the end of these games, ladies, if you watch this back, I know it's difficult on the day, but hey, you guys, you've all got some bright futures ahead of you. Some of you will be back here at Final Fours, and then some of you will go on to great things with your futures, playing college ball in the States or in Europe, and then hopefully going pro. But just always a great spectacle to see, and me and Kaz love the fact that we're watching the future of British basketball every time we do one of these tournaments. And there's players out there right now that you know are going to be representing their country at GB and England levels and at their respective countries' national levels. Incredible talent in front of us right now. It's a real privilege to watch these players as they develop their games. And one was walking by in front of me, Irene Obowodu, big future for her, just 15 years old. Still a couple of years left at academy level for her. And that leaves just one team left, and that is the CoLA team, who are going to pick up the trophy and their medals, and then shortly we'll know who is the MVP. You can see Kaz already anxiously waiting to do her post-game interviews. The announcement for the MVP is just taking place. Your MVP for the under-18s girls for CoLA, Adora Diarama. She had a great game, a double-double, 11 points and 13 rebounds. She collects her golden ball. And now all that's left is for the captains. I say captains because there's two players going up to collect the trophy. Felicia Jacobs, Glory Cabaya, CoLA are your under-18s women's champions 2024 here at Final Fours Manchester. You can see exactly what it means to them. The celebrations are going to go on all evening. Wonderful, wonderful moment for them. Congratulations to CoLA. It was a brilliant performance.
The next season begins now.
And we're going to be heading courtside in just a couple of minutes, where Kaz will be interviewing the MVP and winning head coach. Well, just some quick news from the back room. The fourth quarter has just begun in the game between the London Elite and the Manchester Magic. Elite 73-59. So a 16-point ball game. Why not check it out on the Basketball England YouTube page? And of course, the last game for us coming up today on the show court is going to be the men's under-18 final between the Canterbury Academy Crusaders and London United. Yep. So the men are on the floor, they're starting to warm up. CoLA are just leaving the court. We're just waiting to bring you those interviews for the post game. Kaz Bullock will be speaking to the CoLA head coach. I can see him going down towards us, so I'm going to hand you over courtside in just a minute or two. We're going to head courtside with Kaz Bullock and the MVP. Over to you, Kaz.
I'm here with Captain Glory Cabia. Glory, what a fantastic performance from the whole team today. Congratulations on the win. You came out incredibly strong in that first quarter. Is that something you've been practicing coming into this game?
Yeah, so coach wants us to really dominate from the start, and that's what we really did, and I'm glad. I'm just happy for my team. I thank God as well. We really pushed at the start, and yeah, it was great.
You really did, and such a team effort. You have everybody on the bench contributing, and throughout this season you've done the same in the National Cup, the same through Division 1. Does it really help you when you all play different levels of basketball together?
Definitely. It helps us gain experience as well, and it also just helps us build more chemistry as well, and just acclimatize to the different various competitions in the league.
And you've been so successful throughout this season, and yourself, Felicia, heading over to the States in September. Are you looking forward to your next chapter?
Definitely looking forward to it. I'm going to take the lessons I've learned at CoLA, Basketball England as well, and take them abroad, hopefully. Thank you.
Take that three-point shot with you as well.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. I'll let you go and celebrate with the team. Thanks,
Thank
Laurie.
you for all your commentary for the past 2 years as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And that's your MVP, Adora Diarama. And we're going to go straight back courtside with Kaz Bullock, who's with the CoLA head coach. Over to you, Kaz.
Here with Coach Jackson Gibbons. Jackson, congratulations. Just a huge win for you today. National Cup winners at the under-18 level, Division 1 winners, WEABL winners. It's been an incredibly successful season for the club.
Yeah, as ever, Manchester, showed what they're made of in the second half and made it a real competitive game. Congratulations to them. Rob has a great program. I thought they did really well. Yeah, just super chuffed for the girls, the way that they've been for maybe the last 7 or 8 weeks. They're really locked in. They bought into everything that we've been teaching them, some of them for 2 and 3 years and some of them since last August, and it's nice to see it all come together. I don't think we were really coaching in the second half. I think it was more them managing themselves, or even in the first half, I think they were more managing themselves and trying to figure stuff out. So, yeah, great group.
And a really dominant opening quarter. Glory just mentioned there before, you've said you wanted them to come out strong, and come out strong they did.
Yeah, I wanted to guard this week against complacency. I think it's easy to, to play a team a number of times, and they have some fantastic players, and I didn't want us to come into this game thinking that the cup final carried through. Every game starts 0-0, and it's really, really important for our girls not to be complacent. And yeah, it was really nice. We had some people here today that were with us when we first started the program many, many years ago. And you're only as good as the people that you're around, and these girls are surrounded by some fantastic people. And so really just chuffed that, they finished the season in the way that they did. And yeah, just a nice occasion for everybody.
And just, again, a real all-round team performance. We have Adora with the MVP, Felicia putting up big numbers in not as many minutes as she usually plays, Esther inside, and does it just help when you have such a group together willing to play for each other?
Yeah, we're talented, make no bones about it. We're right in the heart of London. There's, just tons of potential players that are there. I think we recruit a little differently. We're not aggressive recruiters. We hold trials and we contact some clubs about some players that we're interested in. And, we have almost a cheat code that we're in central London. So it's easy in the end to rotate and give everybody a look. And what I liked is I didn't feel like anyone was chasing an MVP when we were up. I just felt like, everyone played and stuck to the script. So, Yeah, it's a good day, and we're happy. I'm really pleased for Adora. She's a very talented young lady. I think she's realizing her talent as it goes along, as we move along, and I think huge things to come for her in the future.
Definitely, and Felicia's last game here, she'll be heading to the States, so will Glory. Still a lot to watch out for them in their next chapters.
Yeah, I mean, Felicia, we say it to her every single game, the team is going to go as she goes, and if she's locked in, like, she didn't win MVP today, but she's just a huge pivotal part of the team, and I'm really excited to see what happens with her. And a lot of the girls, a lot of them are leaving. We haven't done a very good job of publicizing it this year, but the majority of the Year 13s are leaving for some really good destinations, and maybe we'll do some announcements over the next few months. I always want to say some thank yous at the end. We want to dedicate this season to Jimmy Rogers, my former coach, and just somebody who was massive in London basketball for impacting, thousands and thousands of young people. And so I think that's a perfect way to end it, and for us to kind of, sail off into the summer and regroup and go at it again next year and figure out, how CoLA basketball can continue to be successful. But thank you for everything you've done for us as well this season. Yeah.
And what a way to finish the season. It's been incredible to watch you all, and just best of luck in the future, Jackson.
Appreciate it. Also, there's some confusion last week. I'm not leaving CoLA. I'm just not the head coach next year. Brian will be the head coach, and it's a beautiful thing, but I will be there every step of the way with these kids. I'm not going anywhere. So, yeah, just wanted to clear that up.
Awesome. Times ahead. Thanks, Jackson. Thank you.
Congratulations to Coach Jackson Gibbons there, speaking to Kaz Bullock courtside. So all that's left for us now. Oh, we're going to speak to another player. So, we got Felicia Jacobs. It's with Kaz Bullock.
Adora, congratulations on today's win. You played an incredible game, and just talking to Glory and to Coach Jackson, a huge team effort. Is that how you've just played all season?
For the start of the season, I was a bit rocky, but then I improved. I got more stronger. I got more confident, and yeah.
You've just grown and grown throughout the season. We've seen it at the National Cup, playing in Division 1. How have you enjoyed being with CoLA this season?
I've really enjoyed it. I love my teammates. I love my coaches. They're really helpful. They're really helpful, and yeah.
A really defensive-minded team that you've got. Is that something that you love doing? Because you can see it out there. You're out there just defending, hands in the way. Is that something that comes naturally to you?
Yeah, it does.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I'll let you go and celebrate.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to leave you to it now, and we're going to join you again in about 5 minutes' time for the final of the men's under-18s. Keep it locked into Basketball England's YouTube. One more game to go. It's going to be a good one.